Hey everyone, Cloud VP here, and welcome back to the second reproduction. So last time, everyone died, and then we're in some kind of like second chance life that Christina's living. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but she like knows everything everyone's gonna say. She's obviously been through this before, and yeah, it's weird. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I did notice that Gardas still has the affection points from last time, so that's good. So let's see how this goes and what we figure out today. Maybe we'll figure out a little more. Maybe it'll skip through things so we don't have to go through all that again, but let's see what happens. Here we go. Lizette. Still, she acts like a human. I don't remember what we were talking about. Whatever. Lizette whispered that to me as we walked towards the throne room. He was on high alert, looking out for any potential ambushes as we went. Ah, well, I'm not even on guard, so I probably look even weirder than Lizette. I knew I was acting weird, but being all tense and nervous in such a familiar place felt even weirder. The corridors of the castle seemed almost homely. The scars on the stone wall, the shape of each window, the length of the shadow cast by the sun, and what lay at the end of the corridor. I could predict all of it. And, one by one, each of my predictions came true. It made me feel uncomfortable, and light anxiety began to run through my stomach. This is... Noticing my expression, Lizette began to get worried and nervously peered at my expression. You're talking right off. He's talking right off the bat. Yay! I don't have to read your lines. Like a human, huh? It'd be nice if we could measure how human someone was with ruler.
Hime-sama, それはどういう?
I have like this light on my shoulder. It's like over here. If I move. Yay! It's no longer there. Oh god, the light. Hold on, guys. Let me see if I can fix the light. It's bothering the shit out of me. Where is it coming from? I can't really fix the light spot. So I'm just gonna have this light on my shoulder. He's gonna be my light buddy today. Tony the light. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck. Let's just continue. Sorry, I cursed. Anyway. What do you mean by that? You'll see. Oh, My voice suddenly leaked out as we turned a corner. This place. My eyes widened as it came into view. My trembling body refused to calm down. It was... Aww. It was where he embraced her. Oh. Gardas. The non-existent past suddenly appeared in my mind's eye, so fresh and vivid that I found myself calling out to him. Why does this place look exactly the same? His arms were so warm, I almost forgot about the cold wall I was leaning against. His voice was so gentle, I thought I'd drown in pleasure. It can't be. There's no way. But it is. That horribly realistic illusion invaded my heart and tortured me from within. I hugged myself tightly, unable to stand it. I felt as if the boundary between dreams and reality was crumbling. Maybe there's really is something wrong with me. If Lizette hadn't been standing beside me, I would have fallen into the ground in hysterics.
Hime-sama.
He probably thought my trembling was due to fear. He gently called my name and took my hand in his, concerned. Sorry, I'm alright now. I squeezed my eyes shut and shook away the overflowing sadness. Then I made a determined expression and stepped into the throne room.
遅かったな。懐かしき名を継ぎし勇者よ。
Nice to see you again, Gardas. Not dead. Gardas spread his arms out dramatically. On both sides of the red carpet, between us and the demon lord, stood 2 lines of strongmen. It was exactly the same as last time, only my heart was different. Gardas. As soon as I saw him, I got the irrepressible urge to run into his arms, to leap and laugh without a care in the world. His arms filled with kindness, his warm chest, his beautiful twilight eyes untainted by death. They were all in front of me. I wanted to touch him, just to make sure. I wanted to cry in his arms and apologize over and over for not believing him. But if I did that, everyone in the room would think I was crazy. I had tried to kill him last night. I was his mortal enemy. As my heart ached from my dilemma, Gardas declared something to the crowd with a voice fit for a king.
皆に命ずる。この勇者を殺めることは何人たりとも許さん。この者は。
Oh crap, he was still talking. Sorry. What? Yes, my lord.
では、お前たちはもう下がってよいぞ。
All the retainers. Oh, please excuse us. The men hesitated at first, but they'd soon all bowed their heads and obediently to their lord. As I watched them leave the room, I desperately tried to think of something to say to Gardas. What on earth are you planning? In the end, I chose a reaction he would have
これ
expected.
でより暗殺がしやすくなっただろ、勇者殿。
An adult who doesn't know how to play with a children's toy might hurt his fingers, you know?
たかが十数年生きただけの小娘が偉そうに。
This must be really hard on Chris. Like, honestly, having to say this to him, even though she, like, loves him so much, that has to be really hard. Living longer doesn't make you any better, don't you think?
それもそうだな。
I watched Gardas as he closed his eyes, wearing an unusually gloomy look on his face. Then, he suddenly noticed my gaze, becoming startled for a brief moment. But then he waved his hand, implying that he was just fooling around. Now that I thought about it, Gardas might have been reminded of all the cruelty he'd seen in his long life. His lifespan was several times longer than a human's, so all the pain and sorrow he experienced over a lifetime was far heavier on his heart. He'd been king for longer than most human rulers as well, so the suffering he'd experienced was unimaginable. Gardas. I wasn't sure what to say to him. I wanted to comfort him, but I still couldn't tell if this was reality or not. If this was all still a dream, anything I said or did would have no meaning whatsoever. Even so, I opened my mouth, wanting to say something. Anything. Lord
何
Gardas.
事だ。
Pale Demon suddenly ran into the room, interrupting our conversation. He was sweating heavily, and his clothes looked dirty and disheveled. Tragedy has befallen the West Borders yet again, Your Highness. And yep, exactly what she said. By fault of the champions, Lord Reneville has rushed to the scene, and things have settled down for the moment. But if this continues, we may have to bring the villagers to the capital.
わかった。その件はお前に任せる。私も後で様子を見に行こう。
Yes, my lord. After accepting his orders, the man gave a courteous bow. And as he left, I caught a glimpse of his determined expression. He seemed totally different to the pale man he was a few minutes ago. I could understand why now. Gardas was a king who did everything he could to protect his kingdom, and the people trusted and respected him for that. You're going.
ああ。寂しい思いをさせてすまないな。
If it upsets you that much, then take me with you.
え
Eh? She's steering off the path. Neither Gardas nor Lizette had expected that, and they both stiffened up in shock. Realizing that I'd probably said something I shouldn't have, I quickly added, well, after meeting that Kiryu woman and a few others, I can accept that they're nothing about the monstrous demons we're always told about. As a champion, my goal is to find true peace, so I think it's important that I investigate you demons further. It wasn't very convincing at all, and Gardas looked at me with eyes full of suspicion.
昨夜、魔王である私を倒しに来た者のセリフとは思えんな。それとも、私が視察している間の隙を狙おうというのか。
My shoulder, it bothers me. Anyway. You're bored and you want toys to play with, right? Then why not enjoy some constant vigilance?
期待にたがわず面白い娘だ。良いだろう。お前たちも来い。
Yay, something different's happening. And we shall.
姫様、これはどういう。
Sorry, Lizette. I know what you're thinking, but just trust me for now. Please.
姫様がそう望まれるのなら、
Are you sure?
俺が姫様のお願いを断れると思いますか？どんなところであろうと、神明を賭してお供いたします。
He's so nice. The word life ruminated deep within my chest, drawing that crimson scenery back to my mind. The image of Lizette, my dream, bathed in blood and cradled in Gardas' arms, overlapped with the Lizette smiling in front of me.
姫様？
Thank you. I suddenly wanted to cry. I clenched my fists, desperately biting back at the tears and trying to smile back at him. Something new, something new. Camera's messing up, but something new. How cruel. I grimaced at the one word. I did something at the brutal scene before us. I can never get that word right for some reason. I don't know why. There were survivors, but it must have been a wide-scale attack, since every single building in the village was damaged. Some were reduced to rubbles, with some smoke lingering around the others.
生きている者がいる分、まだ救いがある。まあお前にとっては、さぞかし胸がスッとする光景だろうがな。
If you have the time to talk like that, then shouldn't you be using it to help the casualties?
何？
Come on, Lizette. I heard a voice below the rubble here.
あ、はい。
I ignored Gardas as he looked on in disbelief and concentrated on the collapsed building. Once all the rubble was gone, we found a new tearful children curled up at the bottom. They'd been lucky. The rubble had fallen in just the right way, and none of them were crushed. At first, they were delighted, and their eyes glittered with relief. But once they saw we were human, they flinched and started trembling. Don't kill us! I won't. It's all right. We're here to save you, aren't we, Lizette?
はい。
Really? Yes, really. The deaf guy here will protect all of you. I'll leave the children to you. I'll look for more
あ、
survivors.
そんな姫さん。
We know how you do with children, Lizette. You're an ace. A little hand gripped the hem of his coat. Confusion and alarm reflected in Lizette's eyes. Well, I'm not surprised. Lizette was a heterodox, so he was probably finding this hard to accept. Worried for a few moments, I stopped walking and glanced back at them. No, this was Lizette we're talking about. He wouldn't hurt them. Hey. Back then, Lizette's hesitant eyes suddenly flooded with resolution.
みんな立てるかな。
I don't know if that's actually what he said, but close enough. He took a deep breath and bowed to the children. Had he cleared his doubts for now? Hi, yes.
それじゃあみんな手をつないで。あの広場まで移ろう。
That's good. It's just as I thought. Children really do work best on Lizette. Lizette told me once that he was the eldest child in his family, so he had lots of little brothers and sisters to look after. That's why I was confident he never abandoned a child in danger. Anyway, I should be helping out too. As I silently cheered on Lizette, I walked over to another pile of rubble, hearing a muffled voice cry out from under the rocks. I think this is the last. As the sun finally began to set, I sighed, glancing around my surroundings one more time. Near the courtyard, Lizette and a large crowd of children were having fun together. Hey, mister, are you a champion?
俺は勇者じゃないけど、俺の主は勇者なんだ。
So you're with the bad guys.
本物の勇者はひどいことなんかしないんだよ。
That was nice. A real champion wouldn't kill us?
そう決めたからここに来たんじゃないかな。
Oh, and since you saved us, you must be a good guy, right? Yeah, bad reading. You're a human, mister, but if it's you, I'd gladly marry you. Hey, that's cheating. I want to marry him too. Oh.
それじゃあみんなまとめて。
Well,
お嫁
good
さん
thing I
に
didn't
お
go
いで。
for Lizette. He's gonna get married to all the kids. Ugh.
ほう今から一夫多妻宣言とは純情そうな顔をしてなかなかやるな。
ガルディス。
Have you finished everything on your side of the village? I walked towards the two of them from behind, clapping the dust off my hands.
ああ礼を言う。お前たちのおかげでより多くの民が救えた。
Oh, you're not going to say something sarcastic.
真の善意を悪意で返すほど私は愚王ではないつもりだ。それにお前は偽りで救いの手を差し伸べられるような器用な女ではないだろう。
Okay, we're in. You do have an eye for women. I'm not surprised, considering how many lovers you've had.
まあそれはさておき、お前たちの真の目的は何だ。昨夜はあれほど殺意をたぎらせていたのに、夜が明けた今はまるで別人のように穏やかな顔をしている。
Well, she has technically lived a different life for a little bit. A couple months until now.
正直
Dust on my
化かされている心地すらする。
I'm not surprised you feel that way. Even I don't know myself. But there's one thing I'm sure about. I no longer believe that demons are the embodiment of all evil. I came here today to prove that.
それで今後の目処は見つかったのか。
I'm not sure yet. I know for sure that what I'm seeing now isn't an illusion, but there's still a lot I need to think about.
幻？
Don't worry about it. I wish Gardas wouldn't look at me like that. His gaze was suffocating. Up until a moment ago, I've been trying to stop myself from embracing him. Even though he was so close, I couldn't reach out and touch him. Because I was afraid. Afraid that if I did, I'd discover this was a dream after all, and that this world had never existed. Even if this was just an illusion, I wanted to stay by its side for a little longer. Even if none of it's real. A self-ridiculing smile formed on my lips without my consent. I closed my eyes and brushed past him, as if trying to avoid his gaze. Ah. With the worst possible timing, my body had given up on me. The tension from the rescue mission had finally left me, and fatigue suddenly surged through me in its stead.
姫様
My knees crumpled, and I fell towards the ground.
無理をするな。今日の礼として帰りは私が抱えていこう。
Uh-oh, this is not what she wanted. But it's gonna happen anyway. Instead of the hard stone floor, I landed in something warm and strong. Ah. Words fell away from me. Except for saying Gardas in my mind. He was just an illusion, and yet, why could he arouse such powerful feelings within me? Why did they hurt so much? I like you. I love you. I wanted to shout those words over and over until my voice cracked and my throat dried up. The feelings I'd been trying to hold back were flooding through me again, expanding at an alarming rate.
おい、
Christina? I regained my senses and realized that I was clinging to his arms. Nervous, I shook my head. Gardas gave a small sigh and let go of me, interpreting it as a refusal of his offer. I was struck by emptiness and pain violent enough to shatter my heart. I stretched out my hands towards him as he walked away, but I couldn't say anything. I bit my lower lip instead, unsatisfied. I can't. Not now. The blood-red sun shone against his back as he walked straight ahead. I could only watch him as I struggled with my own sense of reality. Reality. Again? I could hear something. I'd heard a mysterious sound just before I woke up, and it guided me here. It wasn't a loud or a horrible sound, in fact. It was quite pleasant. I couldn't help but be attracted to it. It didn't sound like something buzzing inside my ear. That is the sound of the gap. Eh? I was sure that I was the only one here, but once I turned around, there stood a man cloaked in a long black coat. A coat dark enough to blend into the night. It took a lot of effort to see him. You're not from the castle? He looked nothing like the patrolman, and more importantly, I couldn't understand a word he just said. The gap? You opened the door and passed through the gap. That's why you can hear them. What in the world are you? Is this all a dream, or is it a reality? I'd know the answer to that. Ah, so this isn't a dream after all? Is everything you experience in this world sweet and kind, just like it is in a dream? No, it's not. Indeed, you wouldn't have opened the door otherwise. What is the gap? The gap is the present, the past, and the future. I exist as I watch you right now, but I am not here. That sounds like a riddle. Well, you already know the answer yourself, so there's no need for me to say it. What do you know? You could say I know everything or nothing, so to speak. In the end, the truth only lies in the hearts of those who could see it. Why have you appeared before me, and why did I cannot answer that, I'm afraid. I can, however, answer your first question. I'll simply say that the people of the Gap treat their new residents with the utmost courtesy. Then can you at least tell me your name? Shade. Shade. What a mysterious name. Well, yours is beautiful, Princess Christina. How did you know my name? Wait, if you know the past and future, then of course you would know. Well, then, I must excuse myself for tonight. If you ever need my help, then come to the church. I can guide you down the right path, at the very least. And with that, the man faded away, vanishing into the night. Normally, I would have made a huge fuss about something as crazy as this, but my heart was as calm as the lake's surface. Maybe so many strange things happening to me over the past month, I was slowly getting used to it. Whether it's a dream or reality, I still have to keep going. I murmured that to myself and stared at my palm as I clenched it into a fist. The corridor was pitch black, and I couldn't see anything further than a few steps ahead, as if to suggest, I'm back in the first month. Yay! Maybe. Okay. Well, everyone, I think I'm going to end this here. We kind of have a better idea of what's going on. Like, Christina went through a gap of some sort, and basically she's living in the past again, but she has her memories from the future. So I think that's basically what's going on right here today. So she has a second chance to make everything right and then change this past to the future she knows, is what I'm getting at. So we're going to see how that works. I don't know. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I hope to see you at the next